All right, hey guys, what's up? If you remember me from last week, my name is Caleb. I work with students from all over Phoenix, and so this series is very important. Saying more is just something that you guys need to do, but today we're talking about allowing opinions. And this is something that, for some reason, I don't think we really like to do that. We think that our opinions are the right opinions, and when people have something that challenges us, we are like, no. And so, like Belinda was talking about, sometimes it feels like a competition where we are on one side or the other side. So I wanted to do a social experiment with you guys. You guys just cheer loud for what side you're on, because we want to see the divide in this room. All right, cats versus dogs. Where are my cat people at? There's a lot more junior hires that like cats than high schoolers. All right, where are my dog people at? All right, remind me to go to the doctor after this because I think my ears are bleeding. All right. I didn't know you guys were so passionate about cats and dogs. There was one girl, though, that I met that had like 5 dogs and turtles and tons of stuff. So, you don't have to choose just one. You can prove that you can be on one side or the other. There's a lot of comic book movies that have been coming out lately. There's the Marvel side, there's the DC side. Who's a fan of the DC movies? Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman? All right. All right, and who's a fan of the Marvel movies that have been coming out? Yeah. I mean, she's wearing a Superman shirt, and you're like, so she can, it's okay. You can see both sides. I love both sides. I think the Marvel movies are a little bit better, but that doesn't mean that I hate DC. All right, here's another one. I actually gave up soda a while ago, and so I did a taste test because my friend challenged me because I said, I could tell the difference between Coke, Pepsi, and like a name brand. But I tasted it, and I didn't taste the difference. So, I see gray in this area. But for those of you who love Coke, what about Pepsi? Really? This is very strange. You guys are a lot different than the high schoolers. There's a lot of other things that we can look at in our society. We just think of opinions as competition. And I could throw out Republican or Democrat, but you guys aren't old enough to be registered to vote anyway. So really, the opinions you have are probably just the opinions either your parents gave you or the opinions that you see on TV. But I want to challenge you guys to make your own opinions, because these sides, specifically these two sides in our country, they create a wall of separation, I think. They create a dividing wall, and a lot of times they don't come together. Instead, they separate. And so there's lots of things in our society that separate, and I want you guys to be people that bring people together. Treating life like a life and death situation where you have to choose one side or the other is actually devolving our society. And it's up to you guys to help our society evolve. It's not about life and death. It's just your opinion is your opinion. We have to learn how to be challenged, and we have to learn how to respectfully disagree. And so those are the two things that we're going to talk about today. First thing, your opinions need to be challenged. It's actually healthy to have meaningful conversations where your opinions are challenged. Meaningful conversations are something that I think is foreign to some of us because we love talking about, cats and dogs and Coke and Pepsi or Marvel or DC, rather than, what do you really believe deep down? Because I think beliefs are the most fundamental thing about us. They're at the core of who we are. So when somebody comes along and tries to take down our beliefs, I think if you guys are like me, sometimes it feels like they're just like shooting arrows at your heart, right? It's like they're attacking you. Because they're attacking the very center of who you are. But instead of responding violently or responding angrily, we have to learn to be challenged and to grow. When you're challenged, it's like a competition, right? And I think in competitions, we can get like very primal. Like some kind of like primal thing comes out inside of us. It brings out something that we didn't know what was there. If you don't know what I mean, go to any sports game. You'll see one side rooting for the other side, booing for the other side. You'll see a guy dressed up in war paint for some reason. Like, I don't know how he painted his entire body, but he's taking this very seriously. And so this very primal thing comes out. I urge you guys to resist fighting back. Resist the primal urge to attack the other person when your beliefs are challenged. Because when you do that, you lose the opportunity for you to grow yourself. Because if somebody's presenting an opinion that challenges what you believe, Maybe you can evaluate it. Maybe you can grow stronger in what you believe, or maybe you can change what you believe. You have to figure out what you believe, because later in life, it's going to be challenged in ways that you can't even imagine. I mean, if somebody comes along and just like ruins your beliefs just with one thing, then maybe your beliefs weren't really that strong to begin with. So allowing opinions to challenge you helps make you stronger. So being challenged actually helps make you stronger. Now I'm going to let you guys know, how to disagree respectfully. Because this is something we struggle with. Disagreeing respectfully is hard to do, and I think this video clip shows you what I'm talking about. So if you didn't know, in England, they have drive-by arguments. That's how polite they are. But just like that guy, I think we treat arguments like that. We're like, you're stupid, or I'm going to not like you anymore because of what you believe, and you just move on. But how to disagree respectfully is something you vitally need to understand if you guys are going to go out and make this world a better place. All right, so let's talk about some things that you need to do. First thing that you need to do is just listen. So how to disagree respectfully? First thing, listen. Honestly, just take in the information that the other person is giving you. Use I statements. Here's what I mean by I statements. I mean not only making eye contact, but I statements in the sense that you repeat what they said back to you. You say, I understand that you say this, or I feel like you feel this way. Instead of going, you're pointing the finger back at yourself. And so I think it helps you listen to what they're saying, and also allows you to not disrespect them, to agree. No, that's also not what I'm saying. To respectfully disagree. Second thing that you need to do is open up. Put yourself out there. Put your beliefs out there. Be willing to be judged, as harsh as that sounds. Allow yourself to be examined. You guys remember show and tell growing up at school? Yeah. For me, that was for some people, that's the best day. For me, that was one of the scariest days, because I could bring my toy to school and be like, here's my favorite toy. If you don't like it, I guess you hate me. So for me, I felt like I was just on display, and what I loved was being judged by everybody else. And so a lot of times we feel that way, but you shouldn't be afraid to open up. Allow yourself to be examined. Third thing you need to do is show the person that you value them. Genuinely value them as a person. And sometimes that means separating the person from the opinion. Sometimes in your head you just associate some people with a certain opinion, but you have to get that mentality out of your head, because that's not helpful. Everybody in this world is different, and just because one person has an opinion that another person has doesn't mean they're going to act the same way. So value them as a person. And then lastly, I'm going to throw out a ninth grade word for you guys to learn, is empathy. Empathy, if you do know what it means, hey, you're reading at a ninth grade level. But empathy means putting yourself in another person's shoes, understanding where they came from. Right now, you are in a room with hundreds of other students. They all came from different houses. They all have different families, different family life. They struggle with different things than you have. They took different directions to get here, but yet we are all here. We're all united together, but we have to understand where people are coming from. Try to understand their side instead of just waiting for them to stop talking so that you can start talking. All right, I believe that if we do those two things, if we allow our beliefs to be challenged, and then we disagree respectfully, that you guys can change the world. Because when we disagree respectfully, we can connect with each other in love. I have plenty of friends who disagree on a fundamental level with a lot of the stuff that I agree with, but yet we are still friends. We're connected together. The world needs people like you to speak up and allow opinions, because that's not happening in the adult world today. Let's be honest. Look what adults have done with the world. They've created an America that's very divisive. You're either on one side or the other. But I challenge you guys to be strong together. Speak in love together. And then you can change the world. Peace out.